Production lines are already making decisions on their own. The real risk is what happens when no one we've hired is accountable for those decisions. We've watched manufacturing move from clipboards to dashboards to systems that quietly decide what's acceptable, what gets flagged, and what gets ignored. Digital twins adjust parameters. AI systems flag defects. Predictive models decide when maintenance happens or doesn't. And yet, in a lot of organizations, there's no clearly hired role responsible for questioning, auditing, and governing those decisions. That's not a technology gap, that's a hiring gap. On AI-enabled production lines, thousands of micro-decisions are made every day, often without anyone noticing. When those decisions are right, throughput improves and scrap drops. When they're wrong, the consequences don't show up all at once. Quality slowly drifts. Compliance exposure builds. Customer complaints surface later. Safety risk increases without a clear signal on any dashboard. The systems keep running, and teams assume everything is fine. This is why the way we hire for quality roles matters more now than it ever has. What we're seeing across manufacturing is a quiet shift in what quality actually means. It's no longer just inspection, audits, and corrective actions. Quality has become decision oversight. The manufacturers staying ahead are hiring engineers who can understand how AI-driven systems and digital twins reach conclusions, interpret system outputs instead of accepting recommendations at face value, balance optimized results against real-world variation, safety, and customer requirements, step in when system logic and shop floor reality don't line up. That capability doesn't come from software alone. It comes from who we put in the role. Here's where hiring teams run into trouble. Job descriptions are still written for traditional quality work, documentation, audits, and compliance, while the real expectation is that the new hire will also understand complex systems and data-driven decisions. That mismatch creates three predictable problems. The right candidates don't see themselves in the posting. Strong engineers assume the role is too narrow and move on. And searches drag on until teams settle for good enough. At that point, we're not hiring governance. We're hiring hope. The candidates who actually succeed in AI-enabled environments tend to blend three things. First, strong quality and process fundamentals, standards, specs, control plans, compliance. Second, data fluency. Not buzzwords. The ability to read dashboards, interpret system logs, and recognize trends without treating the system as infallible. Third, professional confidence. The confidence to push back when an AI recommendation doesn't align with physical reality. The confidence to ask uncomfortable questions. The confidence to slow something down when optimization conflicts with safety or customer requirements. What's interesting is that these people don't always carry the title quality engineer. They often show up as quality systems engineers, manufacturing data specialists, process or operations analysts. Different titles, same accountability. When we help hiring managers reframe these roles, the conversation changes quickly. Instead of asking, how do we fill this quality position? The question becomes, who owns decision oversight on this line? That shift leads to better hiring decisions. Role descriptions start emphasizing system validation, data interpretation, and AI governance. Interviews focus on real scenarios. The digital twin recommends one adjustment. The operator sees something else. Walk us through your response. And candidate pools expand beyond traditional QA backgrounds to include engineers who sit between quality, operations, and data. That's how hiring starts reducing risk instead of just filling seats. One of the biggest mistakes we see is assuming AI risk belongs to IT, automation, or engineering. In reality, AI risk becomes business risk at the quality level, because quality is where decisions meet customers, regulators, and safety standards. If no one we've hired can explain why the system made a call, we don't have control. We have assumptions. So here's the question every hiring manager should be asking. Look at your most automated production line. If the system started making slightly worse decisions every week, who on your team would notice first? And who could prove it? If there's no clear answer, that's not a technology issue. That's a hiring signal. The next quality or operations hire shouldn't just record outcomes. They should challenge the intelligence behind them. That's how smart factories stay accountable, not just efficient.